All right, here we go, y'all. It's that time of the week. We are no longer flashing back anymore. We have a new vision. We are visionaries, y'all. It is the new release Wednesday show live at Painted Vision Comics, and I am your host, Patrick Michael Strange, but enough about me. We are going to bring you our show, which is that show that breaks down all the new books coming in and gives you the top pick, the top 3 from 3. We got some awesome guests this week. But before we get into the picks, I want to talk about an awesome show this April 11th, this Saturday at Hayfield Secondary High School. It is the Hayfield Comic-Con, and to talk about it, the Hayfield organizer, who's going to correct me with all my mess ups, it is Scott Markley.
Hey Internet!
What is going on?
I'm here to talk about the Hayfield Comic-Con, which is this Saturday, April 11th from 10 to 4 at Hayfield Secondary School, which is why it's called the Hayfield Comic-Con. I was very creative with the name. It is going to be a great event. I've been working at Hayfield at their after-school program for about 4 years now, running the comic book club, which is weird having a comic book club at a high school.
That is awesome. I wish I had that
when I was a kid, that was in the lockers. They shoved me in the lockers, and that was
exactly.
the comic book club.
Yeah,
but
that was our iteration of it.
But comic book club, these kids that I've been seeing grow through the years, they love comics, and they love to make comics, they love to read comics, they love just the culture of comics.
Awesome.
But so many of them don't even know where their local comic book store is.
What?
And even more of them have never been to a convention. I have one girl who's been to a million conventions, and
and they live in this area with the X amount of shows that are in this area.
It's true. Well, AwesomeCon didn't start really happening until 2 years ago.
True.
But Hayfield Comic-Con does a few things that bigger cons don't.
Yes.
One, students will have tables there. I'm going to have professional artists.
That's
but
epic.
I want the students to learn how to push their own work, because it's a change I had to learn when I pushed my own work, was you have to believe in yourself.
Totally.
In your ability to talk about your work. And you have to believe in your work.
Yes.
So these kids will have free tables there, and it's free to go to for the public. So if you want to go and support these kids, you can go to Hayfield Comic-Con at Hayfield Secondary School. I'm going to say it again, April 11th, 10
April
to
11th,
4.
Hayfield Comic-Con.
Free to go to, family friendly.
Free!
Patrick will be there.
I'll be there. I'll be running a cosplay panel, and I'll also be emceeing the costume contest. Y'all check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And one of the best parts is, while it is free, we will have a raffle.
Yes.
And all proceeds from this raffle will go to support the after-school program to make sure these kids will have programs that inspire them to the rest of their lives.
That is epic, y'all. Come check it out this Saturday, April 11th, Hayfield Comic-Con. It's free, y'all. It's going to be awesome. The whole NRW team will be in full effect. Check it out. And now we're going to get down with our picks of the week for April 8th, 2015. Here comes Lucid Cosplay.
Hi, my name is Brandy Gibson. Some of you might know me as Lucid Cosplay. And here are my top picks for the week of April 8th. So my first pick is from something that is kind of brand new to the scene, Howard the Duck #2. I'm a huge fan of Chip Zdarsky. So from the creative genius that brought you Sex Criminals, you now get a duck. Howard is fun. It's kind of irreverent. It is perfect. It has so many different Easter eggs that have come back in from what we've seen in the movies. You get all kinds of people showing up from comics that you'll recognize. It's just fun. It's witty. It's funny. It's one of those where I think even kids could read it and be able to enjoy it. My second pick is something that might be a little out there, especially since you thought he was gone, but no, wait, he's back. Todd McFarlane is bringing back Savior 1. So, how do I explain this? You've got a guy who has powers. He's not exactly the best guy in the world. They're taking away all of the spandex, all the pomp and circumstance that revolve around what we would imagine a superhero to be. He's not exactly a good guy, but he's the guy who's gonna save the world. So you kind of get to look at this from a perspective of how the world views religion, I guess, which seems like it might be a little intense, but it's Todd McFarlane, and if you like Spawn, if you like a lot of the stuff that he's done in the past, if you're just a big Todd fan, I would pick it up. I'm actually really looking forward to it because, I don't know, I like those sorts of things. So for my top pick, I've chosen Frank Barbieri's 5 Ghosts by Image. It's a little bit Indiana Jones, it's a little bit Sherlock Holmes, it's a little Johnny Quest. It's kind of one of those things that you feel like, this is what my dad would have read when he was growing up. It's adventure, it's fun. If you haven't picked it up, I highly recommend it. The premise behind this is you've got a guy who's trying to redeem himself, and he's gonna do it with the help of 5 demons who are possessing him. Go figure. But you go through this whole story seeing how he's trying to bridge the gap between what he's always done and what he knows to be the right thing. It's a lot of action, it's a lot of adventure, it's got wonderfully gritty art by Chris Mooneyham, and it is probably one of the best things that I've picked up in a while. You start from the beginning and it gets better and better, that storyline gets smoother the longer it goes. It is my favorite. And if you haven't picked it up yet, since we're already at 16, you got volumes 1 and 2 out, and volume 3 actually comes out at the end of the month, so I'm super stoked to be able to pick that up. But those are my top 3.
Hi, this is Adam from Painted Visions, giving you my top 3 picks for New Release Wednesday. Number 3, I got Deadpool number 45, his 250th and final issue. He's going up against Ultimatum for revenge. And then after that, it's going to be a plus-size issue where he goes for the Infinity Stones from Thanos. Only shenanigans can ensue after that. Number 2, DC Convergence number 1. It's finally here. All of DC, Kingdom Come, Crisis, your favorite versions of characters fighting for survival. Who will survive Brainiac's scheme? And my number 1 pick is going to be Descenders number 2. In the future, giant robots called the Harvesters awaken and attack humanity mysteriously. 10 years later, a boy robot named Tim21 wakes up, has a mysterious link to these Harvesters. With this knowledge, he becomes the most wanted robot in the entire universe. How will things unfold for him when the Scrappers hunt him down? Those are my 3 picks for the new release of April 8th, 2015.
All right, guys, this is Patrick with my top 3, but before I get into it, I broke the rules this New Release Wednesday of April 8th. I'm sorry, guys, but let me tell you why. And there's a really cool thing that I'm gonna do to go along with it. So whenever Saga from Image Comics comes out, it's gonna be a pick. I gotta tell y'all, it's one of my favorite series that has came out recently. Well, it has been around for a while. It's like 4 volumes of the trade out now already, but it's just awesome. It's won countless awards. Brian K. Vaughan, who you know from Runaways and Why the Last Man, and the amazing Fiona Staples on art. It's a top book. And if you go to our youtube.com/New Release Wednesday page, we're gonna have this new section called our giveaways, contests type playlists or whatever. And I'm gonna run an awesome contest where you can win my personal copies of the first 3 trades, y'all. I'm gonna give it away, but in order to enter, you're gonna have to find out on our YouTube page. So check it out for that to win the first 3 volumes of Saga. It's awesome. So shout out to Saga number 27, which is coming out. So that would have been a pick, but I wanna give the light to 3 other new number 1s that are coming out. So for the first pick out the gate, I'm giving it to The Legacy of Luther Strode by my man Justin Jordan. He was the writer on Shadow Man. He also worked for DC on, I think, Green Lantern Corps or whatever. And the amazing art of Tradd Moore, awesome stuff. It's basically, if you are an old-time comic book reader like myself, and you remember those ads that were in the back of the comic book that, you know, if you mail away, will give you like this workout system to make you a big brawny man so you're not kicked in the dirt or kicked into the beach by some big bully. So what if that was real, is kind of the general concept of the book. And so this character, Luther, sends away for this stuff, but it turns him into like this super powered character, and he becomes like a hero, anti-villain, vigilante kind of type guy. That's what the first 2 volumes of the actual book that were put out. It was, the first book was The Strange Talent of Luther Strode, and then the next book after that was The Legend of Luther Strode. And now this week, April 8th, we're getting the 3rd installment of the trilogy franchise, a new number 1, The Legacy of Luther Strode number 1. Check it out, it's an awesome book, great concept, I'm feeling it. So that's my 3rd pick. Next pick up is Jupiter's Circle number 1. It is book 2 of the Millar World trilogy with this whole Jupiter's thing. The first book from that was Jupiter's Legacy. The amazing team on it, again, was Mark Millar, who you know from Kick-Ass, from Kingsman, The Secret Service, and his whole run on Marvel. He teamed up with All-Star Superman artist Frank Quietly on there. So 2 titans of the comics industry world that are basically doing their iteration of, say, an adult Incredibles, is how I would describe it. It's really epic, it's really cool, and the Jupiter Circle number 1 that drops takes you into the book 2 of the whole storyline. Really cool concept. Just imagine Mark Millar, you know, from Kick-Ass and Kingsman, doing his version of the Incredibles, you know, that awesome Disney Pixar cartoon. So a little bit more for adult, but really epic, really cool. Definitely checking that out. Jupiter Circle number 1. And for my top pick, I am a huge history buff, and I live in the Virginia area where I'm not too far from Manassas. Hell, in DC, there's all the museums and stuff, so it's really awesome for a history guy like me. And I love books that, comics that make me want to go back into my history. Check out well, not to say that comic books aren't real books, but make me want to break out the history books, make me want to tune into the History Channel that kind of get me back into that stuff that I like from school. And Rebels #1 from Dark Horse Comics is written by Brian Wood, that you know from DMZ, from Star Wars, and from Northlanders. Amazing writer, and he's joined by Andrea Muti on the art chores. It's really epic. The first story arc is going to cover the America's First Militia, the Green Mountain Boys. And it's really cool, it's really awesome. Just everything about it is really epic. I'm actually going to include the special installment that Dark Horse put out on our YouTube.New Release Wednesday page that goes a lot more about the Rebels concept. They provided this great video, so check that out on our page. But Rebels #1 is getting my top pick. Shout out to Brian Wood and Andrew Muti. I can't wait for more. And I'm gonna check it out again and again and again, and you should check it out as well. It's actually, from what I heard about it, there's not a lot of language in it, so it's probably something you could bring to your history class and your history teacher will appreciate, and you won't get in trouble because there's not really a lot of cursing and all that kind of stuff. They'll actually like, oh wow, comic books are doing like some like real cool stuff right here with that. So check it out if you're a fan of Turn, Sons of Liberty, and all about the Revolutionary War stuff. It's an awesome book. All right, that's my top pick, Rebels #1, and I also gave you The Legacy of Luther Strode, as well as Jupiter Circle and Saga. Check out our contest for that. That's me, Patrick Michael Strange, with your picks for New Release Wednesday, April 8th, 2015.
So Patrick, how many Aquaman you get today?
Man, let's not even talk. Blind packs are the devil, I gotta tell you. You know, when you're trying to collect those blind packs toys, the little vinyl toys, I have that fetish now with my daughter. We're all about it. They got them all at the DC.
Oh, yeah.
But more importantly, how many Aquaman are you gonna give to me today?
You want an Aquaman?
I'll take an Aquaman.
You know what? I forgot, because you're Mira. Lucid Cosplay is Mira, y'all. You need to check out her Mira. It's awesome. It's epic.
Oh, thank you.
I gotta recommend that. So before we leave out top pick, who do you think gets your top pick? Was
my top pick is Five
Ghosts. And you
the
had
underdog.
Descenders too, man.
Descenders. Mine was Rebels.
Underdog.
Giant robots. How can giant robots not win?
Being possessed by 5 spirits.
The first American militia.
The Ghost in the Shell. It's a robot.
So we can come to an agreement on this halfway, maybe halfway.
Sure, we'll give you halfway. Because the ghost is in the robot.
All right, y'all. That's been our episode for April 8th, 2015. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to, we got one of the Painted Visions employees here, my man Adam. Woo! Shout out to Painted Visions, y'all. They have come through in sponsoring. They believe in our show. So thank our sponsor. If you are looking for a store in the Woodbridge, Virginia, Northern Virginia area to have your pool subscription at, come to this store. They're awesome. They'll take care of you, and just give them a shout. Tell them NRW sent you. And before we go, remember as always to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/New Release Wednesday, and subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/New Release Wednesday. Check out Lucid Cosplay on Facebook. Shout out to her. And
thank you.
Painted Visions. I don't think we have that site set up yet. It's paintedvisions.com, but I think they're retooling it. I might be helping with that. So we're gonna bring you a whole new Painted Visions experience coming on.
But in the meantime, feel free to visit us at 3065
Yes.
Golansky Boulevard,
Yes.
Woodbridge, Virginia.
Woo!
Ask for Adam or Funk. We'll give you excellent service.
They're gonna take care of you, y'all. This has been your New Release Wednesday for April 8, 2015. For Adam,
Brandy,
Lucid Cosplay, I'm Patrick. Check us out, y'all. We'll be back next
time.
week.
Bye, guys.